We are so delighted to have our elders and our friends, Harry and Germaine, coming all the way from Saskatchewan online today, and we turn it over to you folks to share with us. Welcome.
Want to start first? Nigan tetam sikat na o teo che pe big squat dak mstahimiasen. We welcome you, and we appreciate the invitation to share. Mamu Tawimau, which is the Cree way of saying Wakatanka, and God, and Yahweh, and the many names and numerous names that human beings have attached to their belief in the Supreme Being. That Mamu Tawimau brings together or pulls together the unity of the three themes that we're remembering today as part of our service: fatherhood, Indigenous recognition. These are all things that tie together into that calendar that Ched referred to, the solstice. In our world, the Cree world, on the plains of Canada, and some to a certain extent of our people who have migrated to Montana, this is the season of the sun dance, Bakwe Simwin, Bakwe Simwin. This is the season where preparation for 6 months comes to a climax. The sun dance is a central ceremony of our people, and it survived the work that was instilled by the colonial powers who came from Europe to settle on our land, to share this wonderful land with us. It survived that, thanks to elders and believers of the Sundance who took that ceremony into the forest and celebrated and practiced every solstice period since the mid-1800s. One is coming to an end today, and in our neighboring community of Beardies Okemasis. This is their third Sundance. And the Sundance is very special and central to who we are as people, because it speaks to our belief, number one, in God, Mamuyo Tawimau, the Father of all creation, who holds all wisdom and shares that wisdom with us as we need it and as we require it to be good people. That Sundance is in many ways the way of the cross for many people. Individuals will promise to do a Sundance, either for a special request, a way of grieving, a way of learning how to become good people. And so they begin this journey by committing themselves to a long period of preparation. It begins on the shortest day of the year, December 21st. around that time period. That's when the Sundance singing begins. And that person then gathers together with elders who have been given the gift of conducting the Sundance ceremony. And from that moment on, that person commits themselves to attend each of the sings that are part of the cycle of the Sundance. And it culminates at this time of the year and is a commitment to dance for four days, to dance regardless of the conditions, regardless of the weather, but it's a dance of recognizing that suffering is part of life, and that to grow and to mature and to achieve the results of our own spirituality, we must accept suffering as part of our life. Dancing for 4 days with only water to sustain you calls on commitment, calls on an acceptance that hunger and thirst and heat is part of life, and that by dancing and recognizing God's presence in that dance, that is the way forward. If the dance is there for grieving, it's a way of recognizing that grieving is a process and that you need to move constantly forward to heal from the hurt that you've experienced. The Sundance is our way of understanding Mamuyo Tawi Mao's gift to us, gift to grow spiritually and to understand that life is not what we sometimes wish it to be, which is a bed of roses. It may be a bed of roses, but we have to remember that there are thorns with those roses. And those thorns hurt sometimes. They hurt terribly. If you've lost a partner, a wife, a child, it's a painful, hurting experience. And so the Sundance is Mamuyo Tawi Mao's way of helping us to journey through that hurt and to come out of it a better person, a spiritually mature person, and to share that in a special way with family, with your community, with those people who are in attendance at that Sundance ceremony. So the solstice in the Cree world holds a very special ceremony for us. And the June 21st was chosen deliberately in Canada because of the meaning that this solstice has with most of our Indigenous brothers and sisters across this country. And they use that knowledge then to tie us together, to bring us together, and to give us an opportunity to share with all Canadians a little bit of who we are. That's what June 21st is about. It's about sharing with Canadians that we are part of their life, they are part of our life. And in order for us to become connected that way, then we have to know each other. We have to accept each other, and we have to take joy in the diversity that Mamuyo Tawi Mao has given us to coexist and to appreciate the many gifts that come to us through creation. So this is a powerful time. It's the beginning of the food gathering seasons. It's the beginning of enjoying, here in Canada, enjoying the sunshine and the heat that turns into minus 40 in December and January. But nevertheless, this is a time of renewal. This is a time of moving forward. So this is a special time, and we give thanks to Mamu Tawimau for the wisdom that we experience at the gifts of creation that we live in. Diego.
This is the best explanation I've had of the Sundance. It was always like a curiosity when I was younger. It was something you went to just to see what these people are doing. And the women have to be in a corner and the men are in the other, and the whole thing was different. The only thing I always took from that is if anybody complains about fasting in our different churches and beliefs, fasting at a Sundance has way beyond and longer and harder. It's not an 8-hour day. Anyways, the other thing that I would like to mention is this Aboriginal Day, Indigenous Day that we celebrate. It's not just a party of dancing and singing and whatever, celebrating in all forms. It's also a sign. It shows us the resilience that Aboriginal people have had through life. As much as people have tried to bring them under, make them forget their beliefs, their actions, the saying that we get once in a while is take the Indian out of the Indian. It is not that. It's a showing that no matter what you do, you never lose everything. And it seems like one of the things that we really talk about is the language. Right now, it's such a priority because the language expresses the culture. And so we look to our elders and our knowledge keepers to bring back to us those values that we have, the spirituality, the language, the importance of language, the values and teachings of child rearing, relationships, humility, sharing, patience. And there's, I don't know how many? Lots. Okay, lots. Quite interesting. But anyways, and those things are being brought back and people are being made aware that they have them in them. The elders tell us, sharing is being done. We know that. It has not been lost. The values of spirituality, the language, those are all still alive, but deep down, and we have to bring them out. And that is, I think, is part of Aboriginal and Indigenous days. People have to know that the Aboriginal people maybe had to hide their practices for a long time. They silence about it, but they were not silenced in the reality. The elders, the grandparents, the knowledge keepers kept them and now share them more openly because they are able to do so.